All right, bro. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yo. Ooh, that was loud.
All right, say it with your chest.
My bad. Listen, I'm on 1,000 today. Welcome back to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. Is Mr. Brown Broken Guapo coming at you live from the calf. I'm excited to be here. I'm in a good mood.
You're in a great mood today. My boy's bubbly. He been bouncing off the walls internally.
I don't know why, because I was actually relatively annoyed like 2 hours ago.
Oh,
for no reason.
So this is just the fumes of that annoyance coming out.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Who are you?
You want to talk? Oh, so it's your boy Spencer, King Aquarius, Mr. 20%. Let me take a quick second to break down what Mr. 20% is, because a lot of my friends call me Mr. 20%.
Finally, it is happening. My bad.
Okay. So if you were at the live podcast, I had a lot on my mind. I had a lot of
alcohol,
Casamigos in my system. And I was just saying poorly how you should really prioritize certain things in your life. And me, I prioritize my career, my progression, and being able to help people higher than most things. So I was saying that I only give 20% towards, being in a relationship or like giving myself to someone else, because the rest goes towards myself. And I apologize because I hurt some people in the making of that. Unintentional. Hold on. Unintentionally. Regardless how I feel about what I said in the moment, I didn't want to hurt people in that time. So this is my apology. I know you don't like it. You want to unpack it?
No.
Talk about I said what I said.
Yeah, like why should I have to apologize because you have feelings about what I said? Maybe you need to unpack your feelings and not unpack what I said.
I think it's a form of you said some shit right there. I was gonna respond, but wow. I think because at the end of the day, I don't like hurting people, right? And I'm mature enough to understand if I did something quote unquote wrong, because multiple people told me that, I was like, yo, you're a little out of pocket right now. And I didn't feel that way. And to this day, I don't necessarily feel that way, and I've unpacked it quite a bit. But
wait, you don't feel?
I don't feel like I said anything wrong.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. But because people were hurt by what I said, I don't like that. So that's what I apologize for. I apologize for what I said hurting people. But at the end of the day, like, I did say what I said, and I've been this way for some time, and it's not the like stagnant, I'm stuck in my ways. I've been this way. Like, there's parts about me I love about me that I'm not going to change because I've worked on that explicitly.
Could you have said it differently? That maybe may not have hurt their feelings, but would have carried the same message. Because I personally...
No, because that message hit home for everybody. But could I have said it differently? I mean, that's the thing about public speaking, right? Like, when you speak in front of crowds, if you're not very specific and strategic with what you say, which is why there's obviously lots of classes on it, you could say the wrong things and then there's backlash. This is why there's public relations teams. Like,
right, but it's only offensive or wrong or hurtful if it applies to you, because the people that it didn't apply to don't care about what you said. You get what I'm saying? So maybe instead of taking it personal and being emotional, you should actually unpack why what you said hurt you, instead of pointing, oh, Spencer said this, Spencer's wrong. Actually, Spencer's not wrong. Now, if Spencer was directing it at you and like specifically,
and nothing was directed at anybody.
Right, now you were obviously talking about your experience in a certain situation, but you weren't directly saying this person, yeah. You get what I'm saying? Because if you were, only one person would have felt it. But multiple people felt it, so then maybe those people need to reflect on why they were triggered.
And also, you need to know me and understand my intentions. Like, that's why I don't feel bad about it, because my intentions weren't in a negative space. But nonetheless,
can you take your apology back?
Can I take my apology back?
Take it back.
No, because it's it's very specific, and I hope it makes this person feel better.
They gonna watch?
Probably.
Bro, I just
yo, talk that shit, please. Talk. Who shot you? Oh, go ahead.
Now I'm trying to be mindful of how I say what I'm about to say. Right, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I recently found out that we had recently, over the past year and a half, taken shots that were received and heard. And it's nice to know that our voice is
heard,
reached in other lengths.
Bruh, that's one of the funniest things. Like when you told me that.
And it's funny because our avid listeners might know what we're talking about, but I'll never go back to the Bronx Zoo if they need a little bit of context.
Yeah, there was like the first season I was back, first couple of seasons. We don't like the Bronx. Now some of my closest friends are from the Bronx. Shout out my boy Black. Shout out Light. But so what are we talking about today?
Do we want to have a question, or was that like the icebreaker? Was that straight?
Oh, that's right. I was just telling. Word. All right.
Word. Sorry.
Hey, Rihanna, drop an album.
Rihanna, come on the show.
Yeah, Rihanna, come on the podcast.
Fuck your album. Come on the show.
Hey, yo.
I care much more about her coming on this podcast than her dropping.
What if she was
How
releasing?
about you come on the podcast and drop your album on the podcast?
That part, yeah. Come on. Hey, yo.
Okay, great. Please, Rihanna, come on the show. Let me quit my job.
Facts.
Yo, what if Rihanna saw this? Yeah, I'm gonna manifest that real quick. Go ahead.
I think I felt it. I literally felt it, and I just hope she did. So my question is, because I feel like there's a lot of talk around this specific question. While in a relationship,
oh shit,
is flirting considered cheating? Yeah, I heard the gulp.
All right. First of all, we need to define cheating. Someone the other day defined cheating for me as any act that makes your partner uncomfortable or unhappy.
What?
Now,
my driving can make someone uncomfortable.
I said somebody.
Okay, got it.
Okay, maybe I should say uncomfortable or unhappy with another person. You get what I'm saying?
Got it.
Any action towards another person that would make your partner unhappy or uncomfortable, right? Now, here's my thing, right? If you truly, genuinely know your partner and you know their nature and you know their characteristics, say they're friendly, right? That's part of the reason you fell in love with them. So all of a sudden, they're supposed to stop being this friendly social butterfly. Now, if they're crossing that line, like, at work, groping co-workers or
work boyfriends get beat up out here. Sorry, my bad.
But you get what like you could have a work husband but don't cross the line type shit. You get what I'm saying? But flirting, like, I could be talking, not to you, I ain't gonna flirt with you, but I could be talking to Ash Big Ash, right? And
Ashley, shout out behind the scenes, gal. Yeah,
more fire, boop boop. But I could be talking to her. That's my homegirl, right? Mm-hmm. Innocently flirting, but oh my God, now you're cheating. Nah, I flirted.
You said something at the beginning.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
No. It was the most important part to that entire scenario.
Fuck everything else I said.
If you truly know your partner, and like you actually understand and trust this person, regardless what they do, is like, they're coming home. Now it's not like you just going outside and like swing, like slanging and banging type ish. But
I like that, slanging and banging.
Summer 23.
I think I think in addition to that, if you're secure in yourself,
that part,
you know what I mean? Because like, I always said, if you cheated on me, you did me a favor. But I'm also never going to question myself because you cheated.
Yeah, security in yourself. Yeah, because like you really, you didn't do anything to me. You just fucked over yourself because I'm dope.
Big facts.
Like you cheat. First, yeah, I've said this in the past, but like you cheated on me. Like if I feel like if I get cheated on, you really have an issue. Like,
but that's the thing. Like so many like what you and I define as cheating might be someone else's definition, and it's like I
wait, say it again.
Cheating is not. Yo, somebody getting their ass whoop over there.
What? Damn. Oh.
Too much has happened in a short amount of time.
So much just happened.
Listen, we just seen some shit going over there. Y'all may or may not see it. Y'all could ask us about it. But Pratt Street is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for the cut, the awkward, whatever. Y'all may or may not see it. Brian, it's up to your discretion. Yeah. So when it comes to cheating, yes, there may or may not be different definitions. However, I feel like a lot of it comes up with like self-esteem. Like if you're comfortable in yourself, you're not going to worry about your partner stepping out, or like you're not going to be worried with how they act. And maybe that's me ignorantly speaking because I don't have a low self-esteem. But again, it's like I'm pretty sure I care. You know, like I don't want my partner doing things, but then it's also like I know you, and I know you're not going to do nothing to me. So it's like, you know, like if you're in, I don't know.
Is being jealous a toxic trait?
Yes.
It is, because one thing I'm not is jealous. Like I'm definitely protective. You know, like I don't want you to be in a situation where you could be put in harm's way. Shout out Pratt Street. That's crazy. But
too soon.
But also it's like if I'm with you, like I trust you. Like I don't want to have to second guess it, because if I have to second guess things, now it's like why am I with you? Because I don't want to have to be thinking, oh my gosh, she's out with her friends. I hope she doesn't fuck someone tonight. Like that's crazy.
So let me ask you, is that more a reflection of you or your partner? Like, does your partner have the power to make you feel insecure, or is it up to you to feel secure in your relationship and in yourself?
I don't think anyone should have the power to make you insecure.
Mm-hmm.
But this all comes from like self-confidence. Self-confidence comes from working on yourself. Working on yourself comes with, you know, consistency. Consistency comes with discipline. Like this really goes down into a deep dive of like who you are, and what you've done internally to, you know, create yourself, you know, whatever the perception you give off to the world. So I don't know, like no partner can make me insecure. They can make me want to do better. You know, they could push me.
Can they make you question yourself?
Yeah, but you should question yourself.
I'm glad you said yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just issued a 7-minute apology at the beginning of this shit that you teetered with for time. So if you just said no, I'd have aired your shit out.
No. Yeah, I mean, you should, because you should be with a partner that challenges you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, you should be questioning things.
Were you? No, I didn't know if you were you done.
Yeah.
So, say you do have a partner, and I guess, well, I guess I'm talking to you, but I don't know if I'm speaking directly to you.
Mm-hmm.
Say you do have a partner that makes you feel insecure, uneasy, or anything like that.
Okay.
Right? Or the situation, the relationship makes you feel insecure. Is that reason to move on and leave? Or how long do you deal with that until enough is enough?
If a partner is making me feel insecure,
is that reason to leave?
Is that reason to leave? I hope that's reason to look within yourself and figure out why you're insecure about a certain thing and if it's their fault or if it's something you just need to work on and build your confidence towards. If they're making you feel insecure. So it's like in an ideal situation, like my partner is good at everything I'm not. You know? So that way, like I can learn from them.
Balance.
Yeah, exactly. Balance. Like you could teach me things. I'm sure there's gonna be some frustrations that come along with that because like you try to be, you know, the way we are, we try to be good at like great at everything. And if you're not picking it up as quickly as, you know, they're explaining it or as like you would like to, yeah, some frustrations may come along. I guess some insecurity might come to mind, but
see, this is so tough because we're dealing with two people who generally aren't insecure or worried, but I think for me, I could speak to a situation that I began questioning myself and not like, hey, what could I do better or how can I grow? Yeah, like really questioning myself. And that was part of the reason why I decided to leave. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think when I never questioning my value because I knew like I am the table. I've been said that shit. But like questioning like, oh, why are you acting this way? Why are you doing this? Like, why do you feel this way? When things like that come into mind, it's like, bro, that's not me. You know what I mean? These feelings are not me. Those actions are not me. Maybe it's the situation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need to change your scenario. I mean, I can think back to, I remember my first event going to an event with all black attorneys and judges.
Wow.
And my goal is to go there, introduce myself, network, you know, create some hopefully long-lasting relationships and synergy between my practice and theirs. And being in that room, it's a very strong type A environment. It's different when you're like, you come across a type A person as opposed to you come across a type A atmosphere. You know,
can you, for our viewers and maybe co-hosts that don't know, explain what type A means?
Type A is really, it's kind of like a dominant, assertive,
alpha,
confident individual. They walk, talk, and like they demand presence when they're in a room. And typically this confidence is bred from knowledge or intellect. So being in that room and me being newer in my practice at the time, I'm like, oh shit, like these are a bunch of established, well-off, affluent black people, which is a dope environment to be in. But it's also like, oh damn, like what am I gonna bring to the table for y'all?
Right.
like what could I possibly know that you don't know?
Right.
And then when you start to realize like, oh no, I know a lot more about my field than you do.
Right.
And vice versa. This is like, okay, this is where that synergetic relationship comes into play. So I think, you know, those situations are good for you because they challenge you. They make you step outside your comfort zone and then realize, oh wow, my comfort zone would have never got me to the position I'm at and let me establish some of the relationships I have today. But I had to think about it, you know, and I had to think about it in that moment. It's like I'm already in the environment. Shoot, what do I do? And you don't know, and I don't know anyone.
And in a lot of instances, right, fear will make people run. You know what I mean? Some people would have ducked out of that room or went into a shell. It's somewhere in my phone. But there's a quote about fear, and it was like, fear is the acknowledgement of danger. I think it was something like that, right? Okay. Like if you don't fear anything, you're not acknowledging danger, right? And that in that instance, your fear acknowledged like, yo, there's opportunities in this room, or yo, I might not be the biggest, you know, smartest person here. You know what I mean? You acknowledged it, but you accepted it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, so going back to working on yourself, I know what my strengths are. Like I'm in any room, I'm a personable individual. Like I know how to talk to people. That's like my strength. So I was just thinking, I don't know what the icebreaker is. Like, how do I just start talking to these people? You know, they all know each other. They've known each other for years.
So what was your icebreaker? Hi, my name's Spencer.
Well, first, when in Rome, right? So you have to kind of adapt to your surroundings. So first thing I got was a rum punch, just to take the edge off. But then, you know, everyone I met, firm handshake, look him in the eye, hey, Spencer Cephas. Oh my God, like, and everyone in there's an attorney. I'm the only financial advisor. So they're assuming I'm an attorney. Oh, what do you practice? Financial literacy. Oh, you're not an attorney? No, financial advisor.
No.
Yeah. And then, you know, you start getting to the conversation and the nitty gritty, and they're like, oh my gosh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on this? We should probably have a conversation sometime. And I'm like, either you're testing me to see if I know this in like something that you already know, or you genuinely don't know.
Right.
And when I realized, like, oh, I do bring something to the table. Like, I have a mastery of something that they don't, even though they are affluent and masters of their craft. It's like, oh, yeah, no, like, I am good at this. You know, right. I do bring value here. At first, you're just like, oh, I hope they like me.
See, but that's so interesting because that could be in a relationship. Now you're bringing in work, right? And I don't want to say that's not validation, but it's looking for like the need to be wanted, the need to be liked, the need. I don't know if I'm articulating it correctly, but you're wanting to be accepted.
Yeah, and it's interesting because in a relationship, you never know, like you can never read someone's mind, right? So you never know if they're genuinely happy with the situation or if they're just in the situation out of convenience and too scared to leave.
So let's talk about relationships or work. Mm-hmm. What are some reasons to stay and some reasons to leave?
Some reasons to stay, like I said, if that person challenges you, empowers you, you have like-minded goals that may not 100% mesh, but you're willing to, I mean, there are compromises in relationships if, like, people don't acknowledge that they're lying. Yeah, like, I guess reasons to stay is if this person makes you better and uncomfortable. Like, uncomfortably better, you know?
I like that shit. Yo, hit the horn one time. That was great. Uncomfortably better. Like, I'm, like, literally self-reflecting as, okay. And it's funny because I wanted to talk about, like, so many different aspects of where to let go, but we keep going back to relationship. But that statement also resonates with a job. If this job's not making me better, bro, I had a marketing job. I was bored as hell, and I wasn't growing. And literally, I was just like, all right, y'all, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So, like,
I can't see you being at a desk in front of a computer all
bro,
day.
It was crazy. I had 3 computers, right? Mm-hmm. This one was my laptop, was always on a podcast. Okay. Right? This one was my work computer, and this was on nothing. Like unless the work I had required, like, me to be on 2 computers, and I would literally just sit there, type something, and just be like this. Or ha, and I would always, like, bust out laughing. I wasn't aware that was an appropriate office etiquette, but I also didn't give a fuck. But it was also like, bro, I'm still getting my shit done. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry that I cannot, bro. I got that job beginning of March 2019. It wasn't until June.
That was mid-panorama.
No, before the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, so March, April, May, June. So 3.5 months where I was like, this ain't it. July, August, September, October. I lasted 7 months at that job.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just like I just wasn't happy. You know, like, I wasn't enjoying going to work. Like, it wasn't fun. And, like, I talked to people. This one girl that I used to work with there now works for Nike. forgot who I was talking to the other day. They were telling me all this cool shit that they do with their marketing job. And I was like, I understand that they're stepping stones and you're not about to just get that first ESPN, that first Lego job off the rip. But I was like, bro, I could not stick it out.
But like for you, in regards to marketing, what's the end goal? It was a job.
I wanted to make commercials.
Oh, okay.
Like to me, that was like the coolest thing to like bring something to life. Like this bottle right here. Can I come up with the idea to then make that? You know what I mean?
There's a girl on TikTok who does that.
Fuck her.
Nah, she's dope. They're like, like someone will comment like, "Yo, do it with a cookie." She's like, "I can't do it with it," and then she'll make an entire dope TikTok reel out of this cookie where it's like she'll throw it on the bed, she'll sprinkle some crumbles on it, she'll show it in front of the camera by itself, and then like when she puts it all together and shows you the final product, you're like, yo,
Shorty. I don't know which camera I'm looking at, but get your cookies and come on the show. But
get your cookies and come on the.
But I say all that to say, like, I didn't last long because I wasn't. What did you say? Uncomfortably
happy. Better. Uncomfortably better.
I wasn't uncomfortably better. Like I didn't feel like I had to learn, but I didn't feel like I was really growing. And that was my cue. I wasn't challenged. I wasn't entertained. Like it was my cue to get up out of there. Like there were other things that I should have been doing.
Now, was it the job or was it leadership? Because bad leadership will ruin a culture.
It was the work.
Okay.
It was the work because like Shorty that I worked with, yo, she was dope as fuck. She was a cool ass mentor. Like she was very knowledgeable. She spoke my language. Like we had a great relationship. You know what I mean? But I just wasn't. And it's crazy because I remember that's when I got my shot with the national team, right? Like my second shot, whatever, right? And I was like, hey guys, I'm about to leave for like 3 days. And if I do well, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And like, they were like, well, I was like, yeah, you know, I'll use my PTO, whatever, like yada, 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 whatever. Right. They said as soon as I left the first time, they knew I wasn't coming back.
Yeah, bro. Cause I just couldn't imagine you being cooped up in an area all day. Like, and not like having some like active time, like without like a trampoline or something. Like, I don't know. He would need a standing desk and one of those mini trampolines.
And it's funny because like one of my coworkers had come to the game, the national team game that we had at Hartford, and he was like, "Those are two different people." He was like, "I'm literally watching my coworker play a professional soccer game."
Yeah. And
now you're about to just show up to work on Monday. And it was just like, actually, nah. I am going to show up on Monday, but I'll be gone by Friday.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah. But I say all that to say, I don't know how we got off on that tangent, right?
How did we get here?
You asked an initial question. I don't know, but the fear, I guess, of being mediocre made me not want to stay. You know what I mean? And that was... Man. That could relate to relationships as well. As like you said, if I'm not being challenged, if I'm not being pushed, I think at almost 30 years old, because I'm still 29, fuck all, yeah. I need to actually be stimulated mentally.
I like that. I thoroughly agree that I have to be stimulated mentally in all aspects of my life. I have a question, right?
Tell me what you think about me.
So, because you said something very interesting. So, how long can you be bad at something before you decide to let it go? Because like you just said something, I don't like being mediocre at anything, and I agree. So that's like that something that's gonna make you uncomfortably better. But like, how long are you gonna allow yourself to be bad at something before you're like, you either decide that switch in your head, I don't care, I'm gonna make this work, there's no plan B, or nah, this isn't for me, I'm always gonna be bad at this.
I've got a 2-part answer.
Okay.
The first answer to your question is when it starts to fuck with your mental. You know what I mean? I think that like
when you start becoming insecure.
I guess unsure is insecure. stressed, depressed, like any negative connotation towards your mental means you probably shouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Interesting.
But I say all that to say is because it's like there's a million ways to get to the answer of a problem is 4. You know what I mean? 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. 5 minus. You get what I'm.
You're getting the square roots. Yeah.
You right. There's a million ways to get it, so you could always get there, but it's the sense of like how you got there. Holy shit! What a great name for a podcast. It's how you got there doesn't matter. It just matters that you get there. And I always think you got to find your way. You know what I mean? But at what point, like if you keep trying to get it, and you can't get it, at what point do you stop, right? And does that mean you quit?
So that, because you just said anything that messes with your mental isn't worth it. And if you start getting anxiety, becoming depressed, second guessing yourself, stuff like that. So I feel like anyone who's been quote unquote successful in their own way and what they're looking to accomplish probably goes through all of those phases at some point. And it's like, that's the do or die moment. That's the fear. That's the fight or flight that comes in. So am I going to fight through these emotions, which are temporary? Or am I going to subdue to them and just realize maybe this isn't for me and move on? I struggle with that because I don't know when that part comes in.
So what if, right, I'm in this lane, going, and I keep crashing, right? And there's a parallel lane on the same highway to maybe the same outcome or same destination, or maybe a different destination. It's just a different lane. You get what I'm trying to say? So like take soccer, for example.
Okay.
Right? I'm playing. I'm killing it. I'm literally on the brink of that big contract that I've been waiting for, and I get burnt out. Right? And then for me, it's like, yo, I really don't want to do this anymore. Or matter of fact, it's not that I don't want to do this. I literally cannot do this anymore. Right? Ooh. So now.
Sorry, before you move, what's the difference?
If I can't do something, there's nothing physically, mentally, I cannot do it. You get what I'm saying? Like my body, my mind, my soul will not allow me to do it. Whereas if I don't want to do it, it's just like, yeah, I could go over there and bust out 100 push-ups. I just don't want to do it. I'm capable, but I don't want to. Does that paint a picture? Or
it does. It's hard for me
to grasp because you haven't been there.
Not even it's soccer, but it's like I refuse to believe I can't do anything.
See, but that's the thing. And that's my point, right? Burnout is real.
Burnout's good for you.
I disagree.
This is great. No, I think burnout is necessary and it's extremely good for you.
Tell me more.
So without burnout, how do you really know what your limits are? Because you need to burn yourself out and realize, oh shit, that's my threshold. It's kind of like working out. If you don't tear and break down your muscles, they're not going to repair and become stronger. So although burnout in the moment, and again, it's temporary, burnout in the moment's like, wow, I really pushed myself to the limit, literally my limit. Now I need to seize everything.
But you're talking about physical burnout?
Anything.
See, but that's the thing. A mental burnout, right, is I've done this so much.
Yeah.
Right? I've found the solution to the answer for all million ways that I could get to 4. Right?
Okay.
And I'm still not happy with it.
That's different. No, because that, to me, I don't see that as burnout. To me, that is.
And you still want to find your perfect way to get to the answer 4. I want to find, to relate this to the topic of letting go, right? I want to find the perfect way to love you. I want to find the perfect way to be happy at this job. I want to be the perfect friend. No matter how hard I try, I can't do it.
Well, then, I mean, You know, that's a great example because not all things are meant for you. People, places, opportunities, they're not all meant for you. But in regards to what you said, like burnout, getting to number 4 a million different ways and still trying to figure out the next way to do it.
Because to what you just said, right? Mm-hmm. You said not everything's going to be for me.
Yeah.
Right? But along that journey, what was occurring at that time was for me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a learning opportunity.
Right. So those occurrences were for me, but this end destination, this product, this end goal is not my end goal.
Well, that's powerful because the destination changed. The journey was the same, but then you got to your destination because, and this is why things need to be bigger than yourself, bigger than goals, bigger than, bigger than, you know, anything that you can actually conceptually imagine. That way, I feel like there's no burnout if your why is big enough. If your why scares you and it's bigger than you think you could ever achieve, you can't burn out. You can either just decide, I'm done. There's a difference between burnout and I'm done. Burnout to me is, hey, I went really hard. I'm legit burnt out.
I can't do this no more.
Mentally, no. Mentally, physically, emotionally, I'm burnt out. Not I can't do this anymore. I need breath. I need rest. I need a balance. I learned that I can do this for X amount of time. It's like a sprint. I know I can sprint this. I know I can sprint this long for this amount of time, and then I'm gonna get
roast your ass in a race.
Right now, you're damn right. But a year ago, when I was talking about shit, I would have dusted you.
Roasted your ass in a race.
Anyways, so if we're talking about like a sprint, what?
He said he'll roast both of us.
That boy little. Like, that's why I say he should slap you because he could probably run away.
My man look like the black chicken little. Stop playing with me.
He looked
real
like
fast.
But like in regards to a sprint, like there's a reason why people run different events, like the 100 meter, the 400. After that threshold, they burn out. But there's people who run the 1600 and they love that shit.
Bro, do you know last year the fastest 1600 time was in the 4 minutes? What?
Oh, it's a mile.
Yes, it's a mile.
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
Like the low 4s. It might have even eclipsed 3.
Bro, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. Andrew Pearl in middle school at Bennett Middle School. We were in 7th grade.
A crackhead. Like one of them kids that just ran for fun.
Bro, he was different. He ran a mile in like 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And we're just like, what? And he wasn't tired. We're like, what's good with you? I will never forget that. Andrew, if you're listening to this, like I will always give you credit for that. But I don't want to skate past this burnout because I think this is very important because a lot of people, I think, view it the way you do. Like burning out meaning I'm done. I can't keep going. No, that burnout just means you realize what your threshold was. Time to reflect, see what you need to do differently to extend that. It's kind of like if you're benching and you've been benching 135, 4 reps of 10 for 3 weeks, and you're just scared to go heavier, but you probably could. Like that's not burnout. That's mental.
This may or may not support your argument, right?
Okay.
But when batteries are burnt out, you can't use them anymore.
There's rechargeable batteries.
but you're replacing them. You're putting new batteries in.
Yeah.
So you're not.
Oh, keep going. I got this. Keep going.
Because as it was coming out of my mouth, I feel like I got the answer.
Yeah, like
it's a different motivation. It's a different means.
Yes, that's when you need to recalibrate your why. Like your burnout is like, wait, like, what am I doing this for again? And your why can change, but it's like, no, if my why's bigger than me.
But that's the thing. Like, your why can change, and your why can and should be bigger than you, right? But I think it always has to at least be rooted with you, because at the end of the day, it has to sit well in your heart. You get what I'm saying? And if it doesn't actually mean like, oh, I could say, oh, my niece motivates me, right? And this, and I want to give back to the kids and paint this beautiful picture that means so much to me. But at the end of the day, if it's not you, right, all those other things don't matter. And that's why I feel like, yes, your why has to be bigger than you, but your purpose also has to be very much self-centered and for you.
And others focused. Your purpose has to be others focused. So I was going to ask you, because you referenced, you were looking for that big contract. Why? Like, what was that big contract going to do?
That's a great question. I think for me, and this might be why my path changed, right? It's what I always worked for. It's what I always wanted. But then bigger than that, I always pictured like giving back to the kids, doing this, doing that. You know what I mean? So it was another step, but it's also what I always wanted. It was everything that I worked for. You get what I'm saying? So it was like this right here is what I want. Like, it's every kid's like 10-year-old dream when you start playing sports.
Yeah.
And I've done everything else. I've checked every other box, traveled to countries, got paid to play, got this, got that, bam. I just never got that big contract. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted it. It was another stepping stone, but it was literally probably the only box that I didn't tick.
And I think, and not to dive too deep into this and like get into a therapy section. Yeah, but I think like I'd be willing to bet if you dove into that on your own, your why for that contract was probably more so for you than anybody else, which is why.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is why this is why
I didn't want it.
Exactly.
When I got to that point.
This is why people believe in different religions and different gods, because you want to know that something's bigger than you that has your back.
Right.
I want to be that. I want to be that person for my community. Like, I want to be, like Spencer literally made it from here, and he educates other people how to do it, and he gives back to the community, and he employs people. Like, I'm not going to give out free money, but I'll give you a job, and I'll show you what that money will do for you and your family.
Facts.
That's different than, I want to get this contract because I feel like I deserved it and I've worked so hard for it. You have to be others focused personally. Like, others focused meaning, and this is why I'm in the job that I'm in. Like, I help other people be great with their money, and then in turn, I benefit from it. The more people I help, the better I am for it.
This nigga looking here like he want to come in here.
Yeah, right? But so that, to me, that's why like burnout is just because, like, bro, I worked 90 hours like a few weeks straight.
Stupid.
90 hours a few weeks straight, but what I realized is like, hey, I can do that for about a month and a half, 2 months. And then I'm just like, I'm tired. My sleep schedule's all messed up. I start not eating right. I start fucking up in different areas. That's not burnout. That's more so me knowing I'm going too hard. How can I condense what I'm doing in 90 hours to maybe 60 hours and be a little more efficient and effective with my time? So burnout is necessary because burnout teaches you what not to do.
Right.
Personally.
So let me ask you a question, right? Because you could love something, you could have all these goals, right? And we're talking about relationships, friendships, jobs, right? Is love and or your goals a reason to stay in a situation?
Love, no. Your goals, again, if it's big enough, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of people who I love who I don't need to be around or I don't need to talk to.
Say that again?
There's a lot of people I love who I don't need to be around and I don't need to talk to. But I love them to death and I wish the best for them.
Love them from a distance.
Yeah, and I'll put positive. I won't say anything bad about them. I'll put positive energy towards their way. I just know when we get together, it's detrimental to both of us. You know, I love you nonetheless, and like be able to hang out with these people in moderation. But it's like if we were to hang out every day, like our lives wouldn't be as productive and as effective as they could be individually.
So that makes me think, right? Because you're 31. 30.
Chill, yeah.
So we're both almost at that point, right? And you outgrow friends.
So my mom had to like spit some facts for me because I was.
Yo, how's your niece?
She's great.
She legit is great.
Yeah, she's
my bad.
She's dope. She's having the time of her life out in Vegas with her grandma. I gotta go get her next week. But so I was thinking that, but you also have to remember why you're friends with certain people. And like you hang out with certain friend groups and they accomplish different things, but you also like that should be very intentional and very strategic. You also need to know how to manage your time with said friend groups. Like if you're going out with friends who you have a great time with, very loyal, great individuals, but y'all partying all the time and just like not treating yourselves right, probably don't need to do that all the time. But I do have friends who I know, hey, we need to take a guys trip and just like let loose for a weekend or a week, and then get back to it. We still empower each other and encourage each other, but we also know we're competitive individuals. So if we're out drinking, it's not just we're out drinking. It's like, no, I'm gonna out drink you tonight.
Remember that time you tried to out drink me?
Have we done that? I don't think we've ever officially done that.
There was that time you said we were at 451. You're like, I'll drink more Long Islands than you, and I had one more than you.
I don't know.
But that was because you were chugging them, and I was like taking my time. And you were like, you're babysitting. I'm like, nah, nigga, I'm not about to chug a fucking Long Island. I'm sorry.
Brian, can you zoom in on my face real quick? Jacob will never outdrink me.
This guy.
Ever. Thank you. So
Okay.
like ever. I don't remember that, but obviously you do. So that was very important to you. I'm glad I could be that for you.
Yeah, no, I take my drinking very seriously.
R.I.P. 451.
Facts, big facts. But to your point about like, certain friend groups mean certain things and you do certain things with certain people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like at this age, right, I can't want something more than you want it for yourself. You know what I mean? And like everybody has goals, everybody's on their own path or lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's like I have, what is it called? Hero complex, where you want to save people and you want to, you know what I mean? And I see certain friends and it's like, you know what? I see the potential, but you're not really doing this. So I just got to let you rock.
Some people, and I feel the same way. Some people, don't want to be saved, but two,
don't save her. She don't want to be saved.
But two, don't need to be saved. Like there's nothing necessarily wrong with what they're doing. And it's a different feeling in your spirit when you see a potential that someone has and they're not living up to it. And this is probably how like parents feel. It's just like you see this potential in your child and you're just like, you could just be magnificent and you're not, and you don't want to be. And like you kind of just have to be like, that's okay, because everyone, just because you see an avenue that like you have a master's in marketing.
I don't even use that.
Yeah, and you lasted 7 months doing it. It's not that you're a fuck up or you're a failure. It's just that
hope not.
You have a different avenue that you are going to grow in. So it's like I see my friends and I see different attributes and characteristics of them. I'm like, wow, you could really thrive in this area. And it's your job to give them the knowledge and the opportunity. Be like, hey, did you know this was out here? Like, you'd actually be really good at it. And if they like that doesn't fuel their spirit, all good. But this is why I want to be in a position to where whatever does fuel my friend's spirit, I want to be able to position to give them the opportunity to like live out that passion and employ them. And then eventually just like, yo, bro, like take this over, do your thing, love you. It's like, because I see, like same thing. You want to save people, but it's like, they're not asked to be saved. And to be honest, they're completely fine with what they're doing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's like.
Fair enough. Shit. I mean, we've been chopping it up, I think, an hour 45. I don't think anybody knows at this point because we had that brief intermission. Bro. I know the sun has set. This was an amazing conversation.
It was dope.
This, I do say this every time, but this is like one of my favorite episodes. But I don't say it all the time. I say it often, but it feels good to have like a meaningful conversation. But fuck it, let's end with our 15 seconds of fame. We could finally say, look at that camera. I've always wanted to do that. I don't know what camera to look at, but you start, I'll finish, and then we go from there.
I wish I had a Drake quote right now. Know yourself, know your worth. Yeah. I guess I challenge everybody to burn themselves out and see how you feel afterwards. Like, I think if you tell yourself this too shall pass, like what Steve Harvey said, if you're going through hell, why stop? Like, you got to realize everything is temporary. And if you want your goals to be temporary, then stop. But if your goals are bigger than your moment of discomfort, then keep going.
Okay. I have 2 quotes here, and I really don't know which one to use.
Both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So the first one reads, set boundaries through love, not anger, and in a healthy way, not an ugly, bitter, or resentful way. Boundaries are important, but you need to learn how to set them and set them the right way. If you're setting them out of the bitterness and anger out of your heart, then those aren't boundaries. That's just you being resentful, and that's going to backfire.
Damn, I wish we talked more about boundaries in this conversation. Maybe a part 2.
Part 2. The second one, before I get there, shout out to the CAF, 229 Trumbull Street, right across from the... I'm so childish.
Is it 229? Technically. Oh, I thought it was 213.
229 Trumbull Street. Come check out the CAF. They're going to have media by the CAF, cafeteria radio at some point, which is in the works. The media partnership that we got going on with them is going to be out of this world. But come out here, check out all the local designs, clothes, fashion, everything. The vibe down here is dope. Thank you guys for allowing us to record down here. But anybody listening to this, come down here, 229 Trumbull. Open Wednesday to Saturday, correct, Gene? Yeah. Thursday to Sunday. Any other day, we're in here recording on Tuesdays. So if you actually do want to pop up here from 6 to about 8, we'll be in here recording. Come show us some love. You might see some shit. You might get even put on camera. So again, thank you guys. And then the second part is you're greater in your absence than you are in your presence. And sometimes you just got to let a motherfucker know that my presence is not needed here, and let your presence be missed so they could really appreciate you. Wow. And with that being said, we ain't going nowhere because our presence is fucking needed right here. And we about to take over this motherfucking planet, and we coming to be the greatest podcast in CT. And that's a wrap.
Because our presence is a present. Kiss our ass.